General characteristics of monsoon. So first point is monsoon is a wind. Next, occurs in summer season. Third, gets more than 70% of India's annual rainfall. It occurs for a period of 3 to 4 months. What is the normal permanent wind pattern over India?
Westerly wind.
Northeast winds.
Northeast trade winds. So you have northeast trade winds normally over India. So if this is your India, you have northeast trade winds like this over majority part of India. But when you see the case of your monsoon winds, so monsoon winds are southwest in nature. So it is in opposition. So both of them come in opposite directions. That means monsoon, for it to occur, you require another characteristic, which means there is
Pressure.
reversal in wind direction due to shifting and discontinuity of pressure belts. Okay, so there is shifting and discontinuity of pressure belts. Hence, this is your characteristic, general characteristic of your monsoon rainfall. Other than that, you can also add that it is an orographic rainfall. Then you can also add that it is rain without thundering and lightning. It is stratus type of cloud. So these are the general characteristics of your monsoon rainfall. Okay, so monsoon rainfall is something like this. Now let us get into understanding the uniqueness of your Indian monsoon rainfall. So does anybody have any idea? Did you all finish writing, or do I need to show any slide?
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am. Ma'am, it is half the North India is lying on the above the Tropic of Cancer, and half is below the Tropic of Cancer. So, ma'am, trade winds and westerlies both will affect na India.
Trade wind?
Trade wind and westerlies both will affect the India.
Both are there in India, but majority of India gets your northeast trade wind.
Okay. Because of mountain, ma'am?
Because of the mountains.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is not possible to establish properly your westerlies because Himalayas is a big barrier. So most of your India has northeast trade winds, majority of India. When you're writing the diagram, no, never, don't write like this. Don't put Tropic of Cancer here and then don't write below northeast trade wind, above westerlies. It doesn't work like that. because your pressure belt is from almost 25 to 35 degree latitude. By northern point of India, if you to see, it is 37 degree latitude. So you're lying under the pressure belt. So in the pressure belt, you have high pressure conditions. So you don't actually have westerlies. And there is Himalayan mountain here also, which doesn't allow for proper pressure belt formation. So above this Himalayas, you have westerlies. So India mostly doesn't come under the influence of your westerlies. That is why we say that it has trade winds and not westerlies.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So now, can you all tell which all regions in the world receive monsoon? Huh?
Tropical.
Which all regions? So name continent-wise, which all continents get your monsoon? We have already done climatic classification. So see climatic classification and try to tell something.
From South Asia. Part of Africa.
Southeast Asia. So this region gets affected by monsoon. Okay, then you have to see southern hemisphere also. No, in that diagram, we have written only one continent. So put it to the world map and try to do it. Please do some activity and tell. If it is wrong, I'll not eat you.
South America.
South America is supposed to get, but South America doesn't get it. Okay, then. Actually, this part is not supposed to get, but you get it in this part of Africa. You get it in some parts of Caribbean. And in South, you get it in Australia. So this part of Australia. So if you see the distribution of your monsoon, when you see, in case of Australia, it is only the coastal regions of Australia, where the penetration is hardly for 100 to 300 kilometers. Only that much region gets affected by it and is getting rainfall. When you see these regions also, the influence is again 100 to 300 kilometers only. Deeper than that, it doesn't go. Africa, maximum 500 kilometers, not beyond that. Here, they don't see that effect only. Even if they see that effect, it is very, very small region. It is only in India where you see that monsoon penetrates as deep as 3,000 kilometers. That is why it is said that it is only India who has monsoon. And rest of the other world, whatever it experiences, it is not called as monsoon at all. So they don't call it as monsoon. And whenever it has to be referred to as monsoon, it is referred to as your Indian monsoon. And whenever you see your India being shown in a foreign movie, it is always shown that it is raining in India. Okay, so they show that it is raining in India and they show that summer months it is raining in India. That is uniqueness of India. Nowhere winds will penetrate deep inside 3,000 kilometers to give entire length and breadth of India rainfall. So entire India depends on monsoon. Monsoon is our source of rainfall. So no other continent in the tropics or no, India is a subcontinent. So no other region in the tropics get rainfall during your summer. Hence in history of India, if you see, we were the most favorable region for agriculture and everybody in foreign countries wanted to come into India just because we were very rich in agricultural resources because we get continuous rainfall for 4 months during your peak summer season. Peak summer is in the month of June. That is when exactly monsoon arrives in India. That adds favoritism for your agriculture because crop needs a combination of water and sunshine, and your India has a combination of both water and sunshine during your summer months. Hence, we have a very good cropping season, and agricultural abundance is there in India, which is absent in anywhere else. So monsoon is very, very critical, very, very important for agricultural productivity of India or agricultural growth of India. It is very important. Okay, so that is how your Indian monsoon is very, very special, and it is studied under the topic of Indian monsoon. Now you have to study and understand general characteristics you have already understood. So it was pretty normal, it was pretty easy. Okay, general characteristics, when I said that monsoon is a wind, it occurs in summer, it gives 70% rainfall, etc. It was general characteristics. But the character that you have to understand now is why it is able to penetrate so deep inside India, why it is able to penetrate up to 3,000 kilometers into India. Okay, so now you have to now first understand the concept of reversal of wind. Why do you have the concept of reversal of wind? Why northeast wind changes to southwest? It is already done. Please think and tell.
Ma'am, I think there are mountain.
Why do you think there is reversal?
Because of Arabian Sea.
Okay, what happens? Please explain the phenomena because I've already explained the phenomena. You know it. Just think and tell.
Coriolis force.
Coriolis. Why? Because of Coriolis, it is able to change.
Ma'am, is this because of El Nino or something?
No. El Nino, I'm not explained only. I'm telling you that already the concept has been explained.
Because of the westerly.
Ma'am, because
C2 wind, C2 land wind.
Please be louder, Lakshmi.
I mean, wind comes from sea to land.
Why wind comes from sea to land?
because in summer there is low pressure on land.
There is low pressure on land. Okay. So if you remember, we had done one concept called as ITCZ. Anybody remembers what is ITCZ?
Inter-temperature conversion zone, where the
Inter-
westerly easterly inter-temperature conversion zone,
what is converging there?
where westerly easterly winds converting in the tropical equator.
In equator, you have northeast trade wind and southeast trade wind. So it is your intertropical convergence zone.
Sorry.
Where you have your northeast trade wind and your southeast trade wind converging. Okay, so northeast and southeast are converging together. So you have convergence of northeast trade wind and southeast trade wind together. So this is how your trade winds are, and there is convergence here. So this is your ITCZ. So what happens? Your pressure belt is over here. So what pressure belt is over here?
Subtropical.
Subtropical.
Subtropical high pressure belt.
High pressure belt.
High pressure.
Now we'll put the sun also in the northern hemisphere. So when your sun is in the northern hemisphere, it gets disrupted over your continents. Continents come under low pressure, and high pressure is only present over the ocean region. So only oceans have high pressure and your continent has low pressure. So you have low pressure here. Okay, so there is low pressure present. Now what happens during your summer? This ITCZ also shifts along with the sun. Wherever the sun is, there is your ITCZ. So with the shift of ITCZ, what happens? Northeast trade wind become limited only to this zone, and your southeast trade wind is forced to cross the equator. It crosses over the equator and then it becomes southwest winds. Okay, so it becomes your southwest winds. So it is northeast and its southeast crosses and it becomes southwest winds. Okay, so this is your wind reversal. Why it happens? It is because ITCZ shifts from 0 degree to 23.5 degree north. Okay, so ITCZ shifts from 0 degree to 23.5 degree north. Okay, so this is how the shift is. Did you get the point why there is shift? We have done this ITCZ already. So if you see the notes, you will get to understand and you will understand. ITCZ shifts along with the sun. So when it shifts from equator to 23.5 degree north, there is reversal in wind direction. Okay, so next. This occurs in summer season, means the sun is here over your 23.5 degree. Now over 23.5 degree, when sun is present here, what do you see here? You see that there is low pressure over continent and ocean water is comparatively cooler and ocean water is at high pressure. Now you see that the wind is moving from sea to continent. Okay, so now you see that the wind is moving from sea to continent and it is moving from sea to continent. So this also adds as an additional factor for reversal in wind direction. Okay, so local effect. This is called as your local variations in pressure due to shifting of the sun. Okay, so that is how you see it. And here it is shifting of ITCZ to 23.5 degree north. Okay. Did you finish writing this much? All of you finished? Shall I go to the next point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So these are the first two factors. There are many factors which influence your monsoon. So when they give these options in the prelims, I am making it as easy as possible. Always there is one main question on this monsoon. They frequently ask factors which affect the Indian monsoon. Very frequently asked. Why? Because you are seeing a change in the trend of monsoon. Now this year you saw there is very heavy rainfall over your Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. That previous year there was very heavy rainfall in Maharashtra, North Karnataka. That previous year there was very heavy rainfall in South Karnataka, Kerala. So different regions get affected differently in every monsoon, but there is one or the other region which gets affected. So they'll discuss the factors that affect the monsoon, discuss the factors that cause monsoon. So questions are like this very frequently. So I'm giving it out. So you should be able to put it out in points, and even in your prelims, you should be able to rule out the false statement. Okay, so the next factor that adds to this is when you see the behavior of your monsoon wind. So if this is your India continent, and this is Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea is at low temperature, high pressure. Continent is at high temperature, low pressure. So you see now that your monsoon is a wind which is flowing over the surface. Okay. Monsoon is a wind which is flowing over the surface. It doesn't rise up. It doesn't go up like this, and it doesn't form cloud, and it doesn't give rainfall. That factor is not there. Okay, so it doesn't give rainfall, and it doesn't form cloud, and it doesn't give rainfall. So that is not there. When do you get rainfall? When the atmosphere is stable or when the atmosphere is unstable?
Unstable.
Unstable. Instability in atmosphere gives you rainfall. When it is a stable atmosphere, there is no rainfall. So monsoon comes in a stable atmosphere. There is no atmospheric instability. It is just wind coming from somewhere. So there is no local phenomena happening. So your monsoon is stable atmospheric conditions. Now something should happen for this air to rise up. You should forcibly make it rise up. So you need one orographic barrier. Now it rises up. Condenses. Precipitates. Okay, so this is how it occurs. So you should force it to rise up. Orographic barrier, very, very important for your monsoon rainfall. So you see that orographic barrier is present in Western Ghats. It is present in Northeastern mountains. It is present in the Himalayas. So that is why you get rainfall near these belts. So orographic barrier, very important to create instability or forced instability into atmosphere for it to give a rainfall. This is the next characteristic. Okay, so for long period, we as Indians understood and felt that this was the necessary condition that was fulfilled, and because of this, India is getting your monsoon rainfall. So we thought that, and we thought these two factors were responsible. One is your ITCZ shifting to 23.5 degrees and causing reversal of wind, and the other factor is your high pressure and low pressure over the continent and the ocean during summers. Your ocean is at high pressure and your continent is at low pressure. So air is flowing from ocean to continent. This is what we understood. It is only lately, only in the period of 1970s, when Russia said that this is not a sufficient reason for explaining the reversal of wind direction and penetration deep inside India up to 3,000 kilometers. It is not happening anywhere else in the world. It is only a phenomena in India, which is very, very special. And why is it happening? We have to look at it. So then your Russia said, we want to do an expedition in India to understand this. So India and Russia do one expedition, which is called as your Monex expedition. So Monex expedition, monsoon expedition. So Monex expedition is planned, and they now study Indian monsoon, and then they understand that there are other factors responsible for deep penetration of monsoon inside India.